because this is where there's some disconnect between jungle and Velia wanting to jungle gap, and bot lane, I don't know, not really identifying the fact that the game can actually just be over here, right? If this is like a world-class team here, their bot lane's not being able to play the game. It's over. Like this kind of start is like remake in like top level play. I'm saying boss is not really good. I'm saying from a macro perspective, they'll do that. Like imagine here, look, imagine Bols is pushing mid here. Like, so these guys are doing the right thing. Bols should not be here. He should be mid. What's up everyone? My name is Coach Leo and I'm an ex-pro jungler of 6 years, competing at events such as Worlds a total of 4 times, where I played against the best players across the globe. Now in 2024, I've been coaching hundreds of players to reach their dream rank. So if you've had enough of being the same rank every season and want to finally take action, book your first session and join the Jungle Gap Discord today. Welcome back to Jungle Gap. Today we are doing a review on Kadril's new team, the Los Ratones. If I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm very excited about this because honestly, you know, I like doing the solo queue reviews and stuff like that. But honestly, where my passion really lies is the competitive side of things. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm gonna be sharing my analysis on this game. This game in particular, I really wanted to review. I watched a little bit of the early game, but I really wanted to review this game because I think my expertise as well lies, obviously, Velia, I'm going to be watching from his perspective, is playing the Nidalee. And, you know, from what I've seen already, I have watched some of their scrims. I really do think for a newly formed team, they actually are quite good, especially just with how the team functions. What's really important in competitive is you kind of need all the cogs working together, right? If one cog is not working, the entire machine kind of breaks down. And what I kind of saw, especially Kadril, you know, obviously he's someone with a lot of, you know, he watches competitive league for a living. But it was really impressive to see how everyone functioned together. Everyone is kind of like looking out for each other, you know, top needs help to push in. It was a very, you know, coherent squad even already. But I'm going to provide my kind of analysis for this game because I think in the early game there was a massive, and it's going to be interesting to see the two options that Velia had this game. So yeah, let's get into it. So first and foremost, we can't see the enemy draft yet, so let me pause maybe. So regardless of the enemy comp, right? Regardless of the enemy comp, our comp is Nidalee, Ezreal, and Rel, and Akshan. So we have a really strong early game. So I really like what they're doing here with the late invade. Their level 1 is really strong. We might have a little listen into comms as well, just to see what they're saying. I think Crowny said, you know, something like our level 1 is OP. So let's do this. This is something that you really want to do as Nidalee, level 1, because basically what can happen here is you can establish control of this side of the map. Top lane is playing like some tank matchup like Gragas versus, I forgot what he was versing this game. Basically some weak side lane. If Nidalee's team, if the red side team is able to split the map here, bot lane can be in a big, you know, in a lot of trouble, right? And, you know, we'll watch it out. So enemy team kind of knows this, right? Enemy team kind of knows that, okay, we're going to be in trouble here if they're able to do that. So they made up a plan to counter this, which actually I think is the correct play from the blue side team. I think they can't really let this go through, but I think what happens next, which we will get to, is I think Velia makes a really big mistake. It's not so much that it was a mistake. I think he just chose the wrong option. And the main reason why I also wanted to watch this game is because I think Velia, I'm not actually sure how much competitive experience he has. But he's extremely good, you know, very highly rated every single season challenger player. He's really good at like the jungle, like 1v1 side of things, right? He's really good at knowing what to do in a solo queue experience, even though this kind of relates to solo queue as well, especially in high elo. He really knows what to do to jungle gap the enemy jungler. But in competitive, I think he could have completely ended the game. So let's keep watching. Let's get to that point. So we actually have some context to actually talk about it. So yeah, level 1 is insane. I think he's taking Conqueror as well. Wins the smite. That was really clean.
Look, I don't know.
Leona flashes. They all get really, really low. And so this is where that decision, right? When you do a late invade as a jungler, this is where that decision comes in. Whether you want to 3 camp. So basically you have the option. You can split map. The option is yours. You can play split map. You can actually give up your red side. I know it sounds like kind of crazy. And I explain why in a situation you would do that. But here you can actually split map and just completely fist the enemy bot lane. Okay, that's option A. Generally, if you can build a bot wave, if your team is, doing well, which with this start, his team is doing, his bot lane is very happy here, right? Their bot lane is completely like, it's kind of over for them, which is the reason why I think he should have played like this. The other option is what he actually did, which is try and, because the Viego is also completely, because the enemy Viego is also completely fisted, he can play for like 3 quadrants, so he can take this, secure this, and then play for this, so he can path like, kind of like this, and still play into bot. And also he can just 3 camp and continuously invade Viego because he's already massively kind of far ahead. Now, both options are good. The information that we just talked about, how their bot lane is completely fisted right now, is the reason why I believe he should have just stayed on the bot side. And communication is important here, so I'm going to try and listen out for when K-Drill and Crown Shot are communicating their wave. Because this is where there's some disconnect between jungle and Velia wanting to jungle gap, and bot lane, I don't know, not really identifying the fact that the game can actually just be over here, right? If this is like a world-class team here, their bot lane's not being able to play the game. It's over. Like this kind of start is like remake in like top level play. And let's see how he could do that.
Yeah, Viego's cooked.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all cooked. I'll just slow.
As you can see, we can see draft now. Yeah, so like split map, like who cares about this top matchup, right? Balls can just play weak side, and whoever wins like the bot side of this game is GG. I think, I'm not too familiar with mid matchup. I feel like Akshan is going to be able to get roam timers more than Syndra. So their bot should get completely destroyed this game with this start.
Where's this?
Maybe
Yes.
Okay, so the game
all
skips,
cooked.
right? Okay, so the game skips. So this is why I'm going to quickly switch the replay, because I need to hear the comms here, right? I need to hear the comms at this point when he's uncrogged. So we are going to have to switch to Nemesis here. Nemesis what?
RNG was good.
So let's listen.
Okay, I'm going for his Raptors. I just wanna go to my top side as well.
Yeah, so Velia communicates he wants to take Raptors and go to his top side. So the play of diving bot on a stacked wave hasn't even been kind of suggested yet. And when Crown Shot in a second, you'll hear him say, no, I don't want to push, like hard push, right? He wants to stack a wave. This should lead some kind of discussion towards, like anyone can say it here. Any of the 3 bot, like jungle, sup, or AD carry should be saying here, we need to stack this bot wave and kill Kai'Sa, even if it's like 1-for-1, right? Even if Kai'Sa dies for, say, for example, Rel, that is still mega worth, because Kai'Sa is going to be like hard stack level 1 or 2.
I don't
Viego
know if
also
they
used this
have
mine.
It would be great if I had, I mean, I probably could find it. But they can definitely stack the wave bot because of what happened level 1. Because they're not even contesting wave right now. So what should happen is, to dive bot, what should happen is Velia simply just takes the 3 camps here, takes maybe blue and Gromp, right? Just stays on the bot side. Takes blue. If he has enough time for Gromp, whatever, he just needs to meet this 3rd wave cannon, right? He just needs to be on this 3rd wave cannon and dive the Kai'Sa and make her miss 3 waves. How bot lane should play until then, they should just be only last hitting, so very slow push, stack as much as you can, and make sure Kai'Sa and the enemy bot is actually just zoned off here. So they should actually walk past wave, and they should play as aggressive as possible. Because what happens, even if they trade 50% of their HPs for enemy bots 50%, it's really good for red side, right? For Los Ratones, it's really good for them because Viego can't impact bot. And you know that you have jungle on your side. So if the map is like this, Viego's here, you're here. Obviously the bot lane, if both bot lanes are 50%, you're winning out on that massively. So yeah, this is checkmate here. This is checkmate. I think Velia makes a mistake by trying to play for the jungle gap. The reason you should play for jungle gap here is if the enemy bot is just laning completely fine here and there's no dive opportunity, right? There's not a high percentage dive opportunity. That's when you play for the jungle gap. But here, it's free. The game's over here. Kai'Sa dying is remake. It's remake angle. So let's watch. Obviously, the play that Velya makes as well is not, it's still good. It's just not game destroying. It's just not like, okay, GG. So, okay, so we'll switch back to his perspective here.
Just slow push this.
Yeah, see, even Cruncher said, I want to slow push this. Yeah, that would have been perfect. He would have been diving around this stacked wave. I think, you know, third wave is around after 3 or 4 camps. So it would be around like 2:45 to 3 minute mark. Okay, see, I mean, this is still fine, right? Even though enemy lanes have like priority or whatever, this doesn't matter. Obviously, he's playing Nidalee. He wants to do this. This is his strength. It's very good to do this. I think as well, he's running Conqueror. Yeah, it's really good. I think he just misplays it.
I can base on this. I think it's good.
Yeah, it was a misplay, but it's okay.
Syndra are moving a bit faster.
There's no like top side fight now. Like,
Syndra flash.
just stay, we can like really pressure.
So like, the reason why I'm saying this should never happen, obviously he eventually needs to start the camp, right? So in these situations, in stare-offs, so basically how this invade works, okay? It's the right play. This is what's the really unfortunate part, okay? When you do invades like this and enemy laners can move, it becomes, you need to kill this guy. So basically you need to make him, oh, this is actually Kira playing here. Okay, that makes sense why he didn't want to split the map bot, because I think Kira is actually really smart as well about that kind of thing. The reason why, so when you go for an invade, it needs to be, and you don't have priority, it needs to be like a clean, either you chunk, because if it's like a clean engage, right? Let's just say, for example, you find Viego starting one of these camps. If you find him on it, that means you'll chunk him out to like this much health, or you'll just kill him. And if you chunk him to this health, his laners are not going to want to collapse because he can't fight back. If he's 1 health here, he can't do this, right? Obviously. Now, disregarding like values, yeah, obviously he misplayed mechanically and whatever. But when you go for invades without priority, it needs to be clean. It needs to be like, yep, I chunk you to 1 HP or I kill you, and now your laners don't want to come and like hunt for me. And I'm also playing Nidalee, so I'm just jumping around everyone, wasting their time. So unfortunate timing that Viego spots him, even though he's level 3 to 2, it's just going to become a stare off here now, right? It's just going to become like a smite fight. Velya should win the smite fight, but the problem is that he's going to be using his abilities on the buff. Anytime you invade, basically no matter what the jungle matchup is, unless you're versing like a Warwick, the person who uses their abilities, the person who starts the camp, generally loses.
I think it's good.
Velya was obviously already chunked as well. He already used his pot here. Nidalee is really good at sustaining in the jungle though. That's why you can kind of do this thing, because her strength is, okay, pounce out, poke, 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 range, heal, come back in. So if he survived here, it would have been good for him as well, because Nidalee's able to do that thing where, okay, now his lanes move. So now eventually your lane will get pushed back before like the Viego's going to be able to finish this blue. Okay, so let's move on to next play.
You're mega dead on.
You're alone now.
Yeah, mega dead.
He can stall time. Can you?
Yes, it's fine, it's fine.
Stalling. Okay, and then that TP is back to here, which is basically what I wanted to see initially. So we're gonna go back here because I want to see what he does after this invade. So invade is done. He dies. Now he's probably just gonna full clear down, right? Full clear to bot. Simple. Skips his Krugs. Yeah, it's whatever. He wants to be on the bot side faster. Still trying to play very, very fast tempo game as Nidalee, right? So he's not just full clearing here. He's trying to like make something happen. One more thing here that's important actually that I forgot to mention is when he's doing this invade, the comms that Cadril gives is good, but it just goes back to that thing again, how no one was comming the massive bot play.
Are you taking his ground right now?
I kind of want to deny that cannon.
So I think
Cadril not going to get low enough though.
I think Cadril said something like, I'm going to come help Nidalee. But obviously his tempo is too low.
We're stacking. I can base on this.
Yeah. He says, we're stacking, I can base, right? It shouldn't be that. It should be, I'm stacking, like, why are we not diving? You know, that should really be the key takeaway here. Okay, so yeah, resets.
Cap has barrier, okay?
resets, and then okay, so he passed the bot, then it becomes this. Okay, switching back and forth.
Mode is fucking pro-
Amazing, by the way.
It's fine.
No, sorry, switching. Yeah, switching back to this. So perfect situation. This is what you want as Italy. You want to literally just sit behind them and throw spears. Make it unplayable. This is what we should have been doing on the first round before anything happened. You know, and then after that split map happens, basically what happens, let's just say we did the play that I'm talking about, right? The dive on the first cannon wave. What happens after that is like, this happens for the rest of the game. You base, you know his camp timers, so you're instantly just, after you kill them, you base here. You're killing these camps, you have pressure from mid and your support is helping. That's where you constantly want to live inside the jungle. And yeah, you just pressure the game, live inside the jungle, throw spears behind them, and the game's over.
No summoners.
So,
That's very
you know,
cool.
we're doing the right play now. I just think it was like maybe a slight
Okay, then
slip
I
up
think
in
you
terms
know
of like,
Kai'Sa
okay,
kill,
how,
and we just
you know,
trade.
how fisted are their bot lane?
I kill. Vego is here. Can we stay together?
Yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly how Nidalee wants to play. Like he might, okay, yeah. He actually survives as well. Even if he died there, it's still good.
Nice.
This is exactly how you want to play. And then next round,
Yeah,
okay, he plays for grubs. Let's switch again to see the skipped. So we dive bot here. Then he takes Drake. Yeah. So why does he take Drake, right? Why does he not base and go to his top side? Because his top side's all up. Why does he not do that? As Nidalee, right, in this comp, I don't really think they're that outscaled, to be honest. But generally as Nidalee, your scaling is not good. So you need some kind of win con to force the enemies to fight you. So the sooner you get dragons, right, the sooner you get these things. On this dragon can be at like 27 minutes now. And, you know, that's still pretty early. I mean, you're entering, you know, mid to late game territory. But you need this to happen. Because if you don't do that, all it takes is one death. All it takes is one misplay. And enemy team can kind of capitalize.
Sorry, Nemesis.
So when you play Nidalee as well, when you play these kinds of comps, early game comps, you need to
I need 320. Yeah, I think
execute
we swap now.
very cleanly.
Yeah, I
You
can
can't afford to throw.
I think it's since we drop.
Because then I'm just
So he's actually skipping his Krugs all game. I think the reason why Velia is pathing straight to kind of like Raptor area is because he just wants to quickly do a fast like camp and be in time for like the grubs, which I think is spawning in like a minute.
like one combo can kind of one shot me. It's hard to like.
Okay.
You wanna.
So this is a good time. Okay, so the bot lane also swaps here. This is really, really good. There's no objectives to take on the bot side now. The objectives, everything is up on the top side. The swap is also really good because the bot lane can just fist the top lane. So this was a really, really good swap. So this sequence of plays, they recovered after his first death, after Nidalee's first death. They recovered here really well. That bot dive, that dragon, switching, perfect. Perfect sequencing of plays.
Perfect, no flash.
Good, good.
Okay. Nice.
I'll
nice.
sweep here.
4 minutes.
So maybe we
plus
just watch from
40,
Nemesis
right?
POV now. We're kind of just
40,
looking at the map. Let's see. We'll quickly go back here. Okay,
Yeah.
he's on this now.
Can you push mid with me and we hover bot for... Yeah, Viego's coming mid on you now. He's
I
right in
can
this
move,
push.
I can move, I can move. 5, 5, 5, 5. I ult. No.
Yep. Super good fight. Super good fight. This is exactly what every single fight you can take
Yeah,
like
Viego's
this.
coming mid on you now. He's
I
right.
You
can
are
move, I can
hungry
move,
for
I can
these
move, 5, 5.
fights. This is perfect. Enemy team can never win this with how fed
5,
Nidalee
5.
is.
I ult. No flash.
You know, Nidalee plus CC is obviously also really needed. It's really nice that we have a Rel because he can set up this spear. So you see how
Yeah,
he's actually
Viego's
not
coming mid on you
throwing
now.
his
He's
I
spear
can move, I
until
can
Rel
move, I can
uses
move. 5,
CC.
5, 5.
Look, doesn't throw spear, right? Doesn't throw spear until the stun comes out. That's the pairing. So if you're ever playing champions with skill shots, Lee Sin, Talia W, Nidalee spear, all these champions pair really. The reason why they pair really well with these supports is because you pair your cooldown, like your spear, your Q, whatever, off their CC. So he uses CC, he uses spear. Watch again.
Bot for...
Holds his spear.
Yeah, Viego's coming mid on you now. He's
I
right in
can
this
move,
Don't just throw the spear. Don't just throw the spear here.
move,
Just
5,
hold it.
5,
Hold
5,
it. Hold
I
it.
ult.
Hold it. Spear. Stun.
No flash.
Okay, Leona blocks it, which was really nice,
It's
but they're still gonna win this fight.
Fight. Good fight. Good fight.
I have flash up.
Good fight.
I'm spinning.
Come on.
And enemy team,
I can look Kai'Sa if you want.
I missed.
like
Yeah,
League
no,
as a
it's
game, you should play with.
Biggest camps.
The reason why early game and competitive
I'll
is
reset
kind of
again.
OP, is because
I'm gonna go
Going.
mid.
at a higher level, the game is very, very snowball. which is why you see in competitive, even at Worlds, the comps were very, very early game. They were very, very, you know, playmaking
I'm fine.
centric.
Just
So
kill me.
scaling typically, you know, you can have like one scaling, maybe two scaling, depending on what meta is, obviously,
We
in
could
competitive.
try
Okay, back to
poke
throwing
them.
spear. It's really good.
Yeah,
Insane spear.
okay, great,
That
great.
just that basically just means
Grab
Kaiser
hellfire,
is
okay?
sentenced to death.
I think Viego abandoned ship.
Yeah, I think so. I would.
Yeah, so I think like, you know, these plays aren't bad, right? I obviously know that they know to do these things, to sit like Velia himself. Probably, I mean, definitely a way better Italy than me. It's just that competitive aspect of things. That first round could have been a remake for enemy team. They would have been
No,
like,
yeah,
okay,
it's
can we
not-
remake?
He's
Yeah,
top
yeah,
set.
that's up.
Oh, okay.
Syndra is 1 HP.
I drop. I can retank. Just wait.
I'm tanking.
Wait.
I'm tanking. I'm
Viego
tanking.
has
Viego.
ult box. Syndra could move.
Okay, they don't need to
I
play
can
this
retank.
fast. They can just, okay, so this time he uses
Wait,
spear. He
wait.
shouldn't.
He's
Yeah,
top
yeah,
set.
that's up.
They should take this kill.
Oh, okay.
Syndra is 1
They still have so many tower shots right here. They should just, you know,
HP.
play slow.
I-
Wait for spear. Wait for like rel W. Cadril should be calling like W3. You know, reset the tower. You know,
No,
because the
Viego
tower
is
ramps up, so you can also just
Just
reset that ramping.
Oh, okay.
Syndra
They should just leave here. Not leave, but I mean,
is
wait
1
for
HP.
cooldowns.
I drop. I can retank. Just wait.
I'm tanking.
Wait.
I'm tanking. I'm
This is
Syndra
bad.
has ult box.
But-
Syndra could move.
It's
to
gonna
you
work
box.
anyway.
Stun from here.
Not
1
tanking.
HP Syndra.
Okay, I'm taking the J here. I wanna play.
Okay,
the
Boss
Gragas.
is doing Boss things. Trades a 1-for-1. Insane.
Oh,
And
damn.
it gets the proxy.
All good, all good.
It's
Sorry,
actually
Nemesis.
interesting to think about the roster as well, to talk about the roster a little bit, because
Come
Yeah.
here, come here.
Boss is actually a really smart player. It's going to be interesting to see how people help him use that strength in competitive, because it actually is really OP what he does and how much pressure he draws. Obviously, there's a fine line to that. In competitive, giving enemy jungle free kills is really, really snowballing for the game. So that's bad, right? But if he can trade and outplay people and proxy as well,
I'm coming.
it's like
maybe-
that's also like enemy's nexus is like being dented. Like Boss getting this kill 1-for-1 here and getting the wave and Viego dying is like
Ah,
their nexus
damn.
is actually getting dented.
All good, all good.
Sorry, Nemesis.
All good, all good.
Okay, yeah,
Flash, no, flash,
he
can you
knows. I mean, I still think the 1-for-1 is
go? Flash,
and the wave is pretty good.
Just kill Leona. I gotta
And
reset.
obviously, you know, when you're ahead, this is like a fundamental match. Whenever you're ahead, match, fight them.
I think we fight them here, guys.
It's pretty obvious here because of just the grubs. But match when you're ahead and just fight.
Just kill Leona.
This is
Okay,
Nidalee
reset.
playground.
Go, grab this.
These kinds of
Get
these
grabbed.
kinds of games, these kinds of
Can you
things.
base
This is
me?
when
I
Nidalee
go
is the
mid,
strongest.
can you go top?
Well, I'll leave-
And I think that they just snowball now.
Yeah, no
So this is
flashing
just going to be a quick review,
I wanna
especially
take
about that
care
first
of
round.
tower, no?
I'm interested to
I'm happy
see
that.
I know, fighting bot.
more of these scrims because, you know, as I said, it's kind of
I'm around you.
what I really like doing.
My bad.
Yeah, you can't really afford. Oh, yeah, okay, Velia's outplaying.
Kaiser's mid.
I also saw a Velia a game where Velia played Viego and he popped off. So
Kaiser's
W1.
moving, Kaiser's moving, Kaiser's
it's going to be interesting to see how this guy progresses in
5 seconds,
competitive.
guys.
Kai'Sa W from here. Soon.
Two,
Is that-
1.6 KLP. Nidalee still misses that spear. You know, happens.
No barrier.
Flash.
These kind of throws are really
Kill
bad
this
though.
shit.
Like when Dragon is also spawning here,
No.
you have to be
Go mid.
careful
I go
about
mid.
these plays. So, which stream am I on? Okay, we'll quickly
Kai'Sa
talk
will
about this
W.
because goes back to what I was talking about before, which is you have to be careful
Here.
about
I'll-
throwing,
Foreman there.
especially versus like a Viego as well. Viego Syndra, that can be scary if the game like
He's
becomes
here.
more even.
Take care out for me.
Should have just been a rift.
No flash.
It should have just been a rift. There's
Oh, Leona is here. We can-
they're playing on the bot wave for Dragon. It's gonna hard to see what happened before this.
Maybe.
They're playing on bot quadrant.
Yeah, I'm going.
They
I'm
should
attacking
just
bot.
play for this tower. So if Cadril dies here, they should
They're
definitely
fine, mate, they're
switch
fine, mate. It was like-
Okay, it's
They're
good.
like-
sack one, and then what should happen here is like Velio should take like 1, 2, 3, 4. He's playing like down tempo. He should kind of wait for Rel. Nemesis already gets this tower and this wave, so then he should base, and they should probably play like 2 lanes topside. For Rift, yeah, they should play 2 lanes topside here. So after Nemesis takes this, so Sup dies, that's fine.
Tier one and top tier one.
Sup
Okay.
dies, okay, he
If
can't
one
get
is
scuttled
clear,
either,
we play,
Velia.
play,
Of
no
course.
challenge.
I'm best to ping
Top TPs, so that's
Maybe
really
they're
good as
on
well.
here.
So now they are actually up TP. Nemesis was going to base
can
here,
move.
so Velia going for that scuttle, he should not
Okay,
have
please
done
don't.
that. He should have played to minimize downtime, right? He should not be doing this.
Grubs. As long as you can clear mid lane,
Because
play-
enemy
play
has
top
sup.
lane,
I'm best to ping.
So yeah, he should just take Grump, take this. Even basing here would have been a fine idea for both of them. If they both just based here, synced up with Rel's Death Timer, came here, took Rift, played 2 lanes top. They actually, I mean, they might not even need to care about Dragon, but they can also always shift back. So they can take this, Rift mid, and then almost play 2 lanes bot. They can actually do these kinds of plays. 2 lanes bot meaning, they can play 2 lanes top for now. I think Boss can stay top with TP, but eventually someone's going to have to catch this bot wave. It almost could be Boss. Like Boss here could base. Akshan goes top. Boss resets goes here with TP, or whoever of them, to be honest, can go bot with TP. And then they should play for Rift, and then eventually they should play for Dragon, and then Rift these 2 towers. That's how it kind of should go. From a macro perspective.
Top. Viego is
This
Another
is
Rift
all like...
is fighting.
The only reason you should stay bot here on this bot side is if you genuinely think that you can break these towers right now, which is obviously impossible. They shouldn't actually stay here. They should just play for the Rift spawn. They can't break the towers. So,
oh,
and there's also not even any camps or anything to play for here. So this is kind of just...
Yeah, no flash Syndra still.
This is why this
I
happened,
didn't say that.
right? This is why this happened. This is why this kind of little bit of a throw happened.
Just moving. I'm taking.
But this was good for the enemy team. When you're behind, you should always trade kills. Trading kills is always worth when you're all behind. So blunder in that round. I think now that Dragon and Rift is up, you can kind of prioritize the Dragon, sure. Because Dragon is basically like win insurance getting sold.
We hold.
So let's see how they close out now, actually. I'm interested now in how they close things out. Okay, so this is what I mean by playing 2 lanes top.
They have no sums.
Alright, this is what they should have... This is exactly what they should have
Be
done
ready.
that round earlier. Someone goes spot with TP. They play for the Rift spawn. They get really good control here. Nemesis, you know, whoever it is, Gragas or the Akshan flank TPs, they play for these fights. And yeah, another small little blunder.
Yes.
Overall, they have like...
I'm
The
passing
macro
on.
is there.
Went up fully
It's just
now.
not refined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
a bit
not-
risky,
or it's
but
not
I would
disciplined
kinda
yet.
cut them if you want a little bit, but I think Herald's better.
Just look Herald, no?
It's actually kind of impressive to see...
No on top. I'm
No,
I know
no,
people
no,
have been
no.
saying like Cadril support has been
Press on one
has
key.
been like
I was
inting
smart,
lanes and
Viego.
stuff like that. That's why they have the lane swap. But it's pretty interesting to see
You guys want
to see
I'll
Cadril
take over
in
this
game
item, or you want to
making
stay?
calls, because
nothing to
there's
stay
is a
for.
very big difference
Yeah,
between
base-
analyzing a
base three,
game
we got all time
and
to
actually
pick up
doing it in
1000
game.
and back.
Obviously, it helps, you know,
Bad death right now.
to have that knowledge
So fucking
beforehand.
dead.
But when your mental stack is thinking about like playing support, playing rel, mechanics of rel, all the other
It's okay,
things that
yeah.
go into a game,
Don't worry about it.
it's way harder than you think.
So some best
It's way harder than you think to make calls actually in the
No,
game.
she looked at me. I don't know about her cooldown.
Okay, so this is a good downtime round. Everyone's basing.
On the Drake spawn.
That's
4
good.
more minutes.
Everyone's syncing up tempo, so this is a really, really good sync up, right? Nemesis gets this wave out.
And bot with
Everyone bases same time, or at least
Spawn and Herald bot
Sup
with you on the Drake
jungle
spawn.
do. They're also kind of syncing up with Gragas spawn.
Okay, okay.
We just wait for bot
Um,
push.
If Gragas has
I'm
TP,
poking mid.
Syndra has moved now, so don't go too deep.
I think this is
Oh,
where,
flash.
like,
Can we play here?
for me,
Brother, can
I would be calling my top laner here to actually come out of base and come here. I know his tempo was kind of bad for
Yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm there in a second.
but at this point in the game where they're this far ahead, these towers are exploding, right? These towers are actually exploding. So like, from a macro perspective, he doesn't actually need to go top yet, right? So a really, really good top laner here would just run mid. He wouldn't run top. He would run mid, see what's happening. If enemy top's pushing here and they can't do anything here, then he will just go and take the wave. He will never run to this far wave because the wave is already pushed. He already has pressure here, right? And then what can happen? Like if I open up Riftkit, what can happen then if the map is like that? And your wave is all the way back here and top lane is getting the wave here and you're coming out of base here and your team is all like, you know, if your top wave is already all the way here, right? And your team, these towers are playing for these towers and these in this vision here, all you do from a macro perspective is like you just place vision here. You see them rotate, right? So if you have like these kinds of wards here and this kind of control, if Gragas moves mid, and enemy 3 move in like this and protect vision, what's going to happen is they only have so many resources, right? This guy can be pushing here. They only have so many resources. So like if they decide to defend here, all right, on this wave, enemies can just dive mid. Or sorry, your team can just dive mid. If they decide, oh, let's like defend here, you'll see them running this way. Like you can see them and you actually have the inside track and you're like, okay, let's just go dive. let's just go dive bot. This is how you can play 2 waves, and your top is just taking all the mid waves like this. If that doesn't happen, right, Gragas can easily just go and do this. So Gragas should never path top here. Should path the mid.
We just wait for bot.
And they play for all these bot side camps. They destroy the enemy bot lane.
Now, so don't go too deep.
You'll see really, really good top laners. They path to mid here.
They're 4-man bot side, right?
I'm saying boss is not really, really good. I'm saying from a macro perspective, they'll do that. Like imagine here, look, imagine Bols is pushing mid here. Like, so these guys are doing the right thing. Bols should not be here. He should be mid. And then he like pressures this tower. And then that way they can fight for these pinks as well. You see this pink here? Like they should have full control here. There should be no reason. There should be 0 reason why enemy team gets control here. Because they're so much stronger. This should all be theirs. And Bols should be mid.
They have
The reason why Bols is also important that Bols is mid instead of top, right? And I know top laners have this thing. Top laners have this thing where it's like, oh, like, you know, I can just TP, right? What's the problem with just TPing? The problem with just TPing is like, it's way faster here. If you're here, because TP takes 8 seconds. If you're here as a top laner, is it faster to TP or is it faster just to rotate in like this or even like this? It's way faster just to walk. And plus, guess what? You're getting the same amount of CS. You're getting the same amount. I know you're taking Ezreal's wave here, right? I know you're taking Ezreal's wave here,
here
but
as well.
right. So they can't do it. They can't actually get full control now because now Ezreal has to go back mid and enemy team can like be stacking in these bushes. The positive thing of this though is that obviously top is getting push. Also another thing, another layer to this is like if you are playing a champion like Gragas, you're not going to break this tower. I mean, I don't know what Bols is running. He may be running like Demolish or something. I don't know. Split push. He's used to that, right? You know, if you're playing someone that can actually destroy this tower, okay, it's a different play. Then you just play like 3 lanes. You're not playing for that dive play anymore. You just play for like the split and you play to threaten this tower. If you can't threaten this tower, you should play 2 lanes here and threaten these towers. Right, so it just depends. It also depends on what you're playing. Gragas as a champion, his strength is actually being mid here and looking to like make E-flash plays with ult and stuff like that. Whereas if that was like, I don't know, a split pushing top lane like Fiora, he's not going to do much there. He's going to do way more if he's just like smashing this tower and making like multiple people come and defend him here. So it just depends as well what kind of champions you play.
I think it's good.
I'm going to wrap it up here before I go on and waffle on too much.
Watch out.
I know that they kind of, you know, eventually... Oh, they also had Rift here as well. Okay, so that even makes this even better here, right? If they actually had Rift here and they play 2 lanes. Like, they just get everything here. I actually didn't realize they had Rift.
Take it before they
I forgot.
I go mid.
We can make it
My
perfect again.
FPS is just
So yeah, I think they end up snowballing. Okay, they lose another fight. Again, Bols is just playing in his own world.
I have Ignite on him.
He's not really participating. He should be. He should be TPing here.
Boss doesn't have TP. Play with his
Okay, Nemesis just said Bols doesn't have TP. Where did he TP? Even more reason he should never be top here.
Kill for you.
He should be mid. Yeah, he's not playing like, if this was Sion and he can actually threaten towers, does he even get top tower? Like he doesn't get top tower. He's just getting waves. So Bols is griefing here. It's going to be interesting to see how this team teaches Bols macro in a team environment. Because again, he has a big strength. Bols actually has a big strength. He's actually mechanically like insane. But he has a big weakness, which is like in a team environment, he's just playing too much for himself. It works in solo queue because in solo queue you should always play for yourself.
I have Ignite on him.
Okay, but his team, yeah, again, this could be a situation where they lose that fight and the game is like swung the other way.
Solid Baron.
Yes, I want it.
So yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Let me know in the comments. I think they just end up getting Baron and winning. I'll just skip forward. Here, okay, nice. Bols is actually mid this time. Right? This is way better. This is way, way better that he's mid instead of bot. I mean, I think he's not bot just because there's an inhib gone, to be honest. I think that's the reason why he's mid. But it is way better. Regardless, if there was an inhib up here, if there was a tower here, he should not be bot. He should be mid. I mean, this is also because they have Baron. Obviously, you just want to play generally. You want to just play on 2 lanes when you have Baron. But
Carl's power should be free.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I'll wrap it up. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more kind of competitive reviews like this. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this team kind of progresses.
We go to bot after this.
It's definitely interesting to see Scrims now just being this idea of Scrims just being kind of, you know, public. Because usually Scrims are a thing that's like private until, you know, many years later, especially with comms. So it's interesting. It's a lot of fun. And I'll, yeah, let me know, and I'll catch you all in the next one.